So I'm just doing this as an impromptu video because I was having a conversation recently and we were talking about the importance of showing up. And I do like to have engaging conversations, just not like regular conversations. I like to talk about things that are happening in the news, world news, international news. I remember when I was with a patient once. The patient was talking about some international news and he was shocked that I knew so much, and he was like, how do you know so much when you're a nurse? And I'm like, that doesn't say. But it's talking about the importance of showing up. Camera may be a bit dark. I wanted to go outside, but I don't like to go outside and hold a camera because I love to be aware of my environment and cognizant, because I believe that when you hold a phone up and you're walking or you're either in a car, it decreases your awareness of anything that's happening around you. And when things happen, you'd say, my God, that happened, I should have, but your phone is a big distraction. So stay inside. So talking about the importance of showing up, and I just came off of another live and a video, and I have this conversation the other day and it was very impactful. The importance of showing up. And then while talking about showing up, we talked about keep going despite people not seeing the work that you're doing. And then for some reason, I don't know if Chronix just came up or the song came up. I know Chronix is a Jamaican artist, wonderful, outstanding Jamaican artist who specializes in reggae music, one of my favorite. I've often noted what happened to Chronix. I don't know why he stopped producing, or he's in hibernation mode, but his name came up and we were talking about the importance of keep going. And the person I was talking to was saying that, he may have stopped due to his level of work that he was putting out and not getting what he wanted in return. And that was like getting a Grammy. And when the individual said that to me, I said, but, even though the Grammy is the epitome of every musician's career, that shouldn't stop you from producing content. It shouldn't stop you from producing music. And I went on further to state that you have to keep going, not even only as an artist, but as any other person out there in the world. While I'm saying this, I'm even telling myself that I have to keep going, because it's not easy. Consistency is not easy. Even if an institution or organization does not validate you or give you what you think you deserve, the onus is on you to keep going. Still linking it back to Chronix, I don't know if because he didn't get a Grammy, that may have been why he has not produced any music, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt that sometimes when you don't see artists put out certain music in a specific time frame, sometimes they're in hibernation mode where they stop. Like hibernation mode, for me, I like to use it. Sometimes I do that practice too. It's where the animals, like the bears and all the animals, they start grouping up food and finding shelter for the winter. And once they're in hibernation mode, they stay within that era until the winter has passed. So they're hibernating. And once winter has passed, and they are ready now to come out when it is springtime. People do that too. Artists do that too, where they're producing content and it is so good and they're working on it until they get it right and then they come out. So I may think that could be one too. I gave that the benefit of the doubt. But I was even going on to state that even if an institution or organization does not validate you, you still have to keep going. Many times you will sit at tables or these organizations, and I used to do that too, and I learned late in my life about that yes, it's important. It's necessary sometimes to be validated by some organizations to give you the recognition and to put you on the world map. But if you're at an organization or you're sitting at a table and it's not giving what you're supposed to give, the onus is on you to get up and still keep going and make whatever you're making, whether it's content, whether it's music, because the day you stop, it's the day your work stops. The day you stop making music is the day your music stops. But if you continue making that music, your music even will live on and even surpass that institution or that entity. You never know who out there you're inspiring or you're motivated, but you have to keep going. And I did even make mention that recently I learned that Beres Hammond, which is one of Jamaica's biggest artists and known globally across the world, didn't have a Grammy. And I know Beres Hammond is supposed to be retiring this year. He did not have a Grammy. And I was shocked too. But did Beres Hammond stop? He kept on going, and his music continues to live on and on. If you play a music right now from Beres Hammond anywhere, you have to pull that up and start again. Did he stop? No. And I made mention to this that validation is only for parking. That's where you need validation. When they say reserved for, if you sit at tables or organizations and they're not serving you, get up and serve yourself. The onus is on you to look within yourself and look at the purpose, your value, your worth, what you know within yourself that you can do, and put out that work to match what you have, your values, your skill, your purpose, whatever it is. Because sometimes I tell you, you will sit at these tables waiting on validation and you will never get it. While if you just had gotten up and produce your work, do the skill, find your passion, find your purpose and produce it, you'd even surpass that of the organization that you're waiting for. And I've seen it and I have experienced it, where you went to an organization seeking validation and they did not recognize you. And I can share an example with that. I remember when I applied for a specific award, and I knew myself that I was capable of it and I have every single requirement there. And when I applied for that award, and that was back in Jamaica, when I did that interview and I stepped out of the interview, my mom was on the outside waiting on me, and I said, I know I didn't get it. She said, oh, you know that? I said, I know. By the time we left the institution, walking towards our car, the individuals call me and say, hi, we're sorry to inform you that you're no longer a candidate because we don't giving you that formality. And I said, okay, thank you. I said, thank you, but guess what? That did not deter me. And the off note, I noted that the lady stated to me that she'll keep my file on paper so that if next year anything happens, they can just resubmit it. I continued to do the work. I continued to press on. I just smiled. I did not let that affect me. And the following year, while working, while doing the work that was required of me and not looking validation any shape or form, I even forgot about the award. The individuals from the institution called me that I am now selected as a candidate for this year. I was shocked out of my wits because I didn't apply, but they kept it on file. Obviously, they saw the work that I was doing and continued to do, and they decided to give me that following year. Suppose I had said to myself that, oh, I'm going to give up because they didn't recognize me. I'm going to stop because they didn't recognize me. I would have stopped right there that same day when they call me and tell me that they're not selecting me. And that's where I learned not to seek validation from people, places, and organizations. You have to validate yourself. You have to look into yourself, look at the skills, look at the purpose, the vision, the passion that you have within yourself, and center everything around that and go out there and put yourself on a stage or on the world and produce that content, whatever it is. It doesn't mean it has to be YouTube. It can be in your job. Continue working, whether you're waiting for a promotion and you're not getting it, continue working. You never know who is watching you and who is seeing you. The next thing that I stated to myself that, I brought it home a bit and to look back at pre-historical stages when we were in Jamaica, where we had our national heroes. Suppose Nanny, who was Nanny of the Maroons, who led a slavery revolt. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Pan-Africanist, who was a part of a freedom fighter movement, stated to themselves, and even Taki, who led a revolution, and that led to independence for Jamaica to happen in 1962. Suppose those great founding fathers and freedom fighters decided, hey, we're not going to fight today. We're not going to get up. We're not going to do anything. They're not going to recognize us. We're not going to win anything today. Marcus Mosiah Garvey could have said, hey, I'm staying home today. Not travel, not go anywhere today because nobody not gonna see my work. Nobody not gonna recognize me. I'm not gonna form the black star line to tell people to go back to Africa and all of that because nobody's gonna see me, nobody's gonna hear me. They didn't. They got up and they continued to do the work without people looking at them, without people seeking validation. Yes, they got oppression, but they still kept going. And that's the importance I want people to get. You know, even just bringing it home back to artists and even freedom fighters, if they did not get up and do anything and did anything, we would have still been back there where they were, slavery, under oppression, you name it. If it weren't for those persons who decided to get up and continue. Did they have cameras shining at them? Did they have people calling them for an interview? Did they have people recognizing them? Some of them didn't even receive their recognition until they died, and they died not knowing that they got recognized for their work. I'm sure many of our national heroes, even back home in Jamaica, don't even know that their names have been written down in history, or their names are now on the Jamaican currency, or even over the world, showcasing the work that they have been doing. And that is the importance of what it means to keep going, to keep showing up, even when nobody is watching and nobody is looking. And this doesn't just apply for persons that are watching this, but it also applies to myself also. Sometimes you may see me on YouTube and I don't show up for a particular time. I do go in hibernation and then I come back again, regroup. But when I do get a message stating that, Abigail, continue doing what you're doing, you don't know how you're helping me, even if it's just one person, that means a lot, and it pushes you to keep going, keep fighting. So many of us, you know, we sit down in certain positions, certain jobs, and we're not bashing those. They're very important. But if you just decide to take a risk on yourself, you never know where that risk can land you. Even if you take a risk and you fail, at least you know you tried something and it did not work out. And I'm here to tell you in this video, wherever you are in life right now, continue pushing, continue going. It may take years and it may take time. It may take time. I remember watching this Instagram video, and there was somebody talking about sharing your stories. Many of us want to share the success story, but we don't want to share the obstacles. We want to surpass it and just reach the success. But do you know how sweet it feels to sit down and tell your story and talk about the obstacles that you overcame? That is even more sweeter than the success part. And you're going to face it. You're going to face oppression. You're going to face obstacles, but you have to keep going. We can apply it back to nursing right now with the visa retrogression that is taking place. A lot of nurses have been reaching out, stating to me that they don't know if they want to continue with this because it's taking too long. It's taking a lot of time, and I still encourage persons, hold on. I was at that breaking point too, to the point I said, if these people reach out to me again this day, this time, this is strike 3 and I am done. And I prayed to God, and at strike 3, when that agency reached out to me, it was yes. It was not a denial. It was yes. And I decided to myself that it was no. This was what I would have done. But continue pressing on, continue holding on. With regards to visa retrogression, it happens all the time where you have a pause and you have to wait. But what I tell people in your transition as you move out of your country while waiting, enjoy your country to the max. Live your life to the max. Go out. Research new places that you have never been to in your home country. Spend a lot of time with your family. Give back to the community. Do a lot of service work. Because when you transition out of your country, that honeymoon phase where you're excited, you're happy, and when the dust settles, you're going to miss everything back home. And then many a times people will say, I should have. And that's something that I did. And I never regretted it. I lived my life. I went out. I enjoyed company. I spent time with friends. Even if I couldn't make the time, I found the time, and I was happy that I did that. And that's how you have to live your life. So this is just a short video just to say, whatever you're doing right now, wherever stage you're at, and this is an encouragement for me too, keep going, keep pressing. Even if there are no video lights, there are no noise encouraging you, you face oppression, you have to keep going and you have to show up. You never know who's watching, and your work, the content that you produce, will live on for years to come, even if you don't get that validation. The most important thing is that you validate yourself. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you in another video, and have a good day.